What's up, everybody? A Sparrow with a Gun here from Sleepless Night Studios, and it has been a good little minute, hasn't it, since I've put out anything. So I wanted to give a quick little update video. This is not really an announcement for a return to the channel just yet, but there's been a lot going on, and I've been radio silent for a while. I posted on my Twitter page as well as the community channel page thing once, but other than I know not everybody checks that, so I kind of wanted to do an actual official not announcement, but kind of just an update, letting everybody know kind of where everything stands and what all's been going on and where things are gonna go from here. So first of all, most of you are probably aware by now because of my last video that I had taken a indefinite in a way, like not permanent, but just an open-ended hiatus in order to assist my brother, who was doing a contract type job that he needed an extra pair of hands on, and so in order to keep him from trying to do too much himself, which he's prone to do, and end up getting hurt or something, I offered to help him out. But I knew it would cut into my recording time, so I decided to take a break for a while and just focus on that till we were done. That has been going well. We're probably about halfway through the project, give or take, but we did hit a couple of hiccups outside of the job that has been slowing down our progress, which is part of why I haven't returned and stuff. He took an injury off, non-work related, just personally. He took an injury to his shoulder and stuff, so he's trying to let that heal up, and he's been trying to let that heal for a couple weeks. And the last couple of weeks, probably about a week and a half, 2 weeks, I got blindsided by some kind of viral thing. If I sound really nasally and plugged up, that's why. I'm still getting over it. I'm on the tail end of my medication, but I was on steroids and antibiotics and all this stuff to kick it out because it turned into probably an upper sinus bacterial infection kind of thing. So it basically flu-like symptoms, other than I didn't have body aches, but I had fever and fatigue and just unpleasantry type stuff. It's not anything I'm not used to. I've always had bad sinuses, but I hadn't had one like this in a while, so it kind of just came out of the blue. I went to bed one night with a scratchy throat, woke up with flu symptoms, and I was like, what the heck, man? You know, where did this come from? So I've been fighting that for a couple of weeks, but unfortunately, the other big thing, like I said, I posted about it on Twitter and on my community page, but I know not too many people are still used to checking that for information because I only got a few little messages here and there, so I knew not very many people probably noticed. But unfortunately, on February 20th, I was regrettably forced to put my dog down. It's been pretty rough. I do really appreciate all the comments that I did get from my Twitter post and my community page. It meant a lot. But as I stated on those, if you guys send sympathies, thoughts, prayers, whatever, I do appreciate all of them. I do read all of them. However, it's still kind of raw. And so I probably won't be addressing them directly unless something just really hits my heart and I just decide to respond to it. But I'm doing okay when I keep moving forward and I keep my focus in a forward-thinking direction. But if I stop and think about it for too long, it's still pretty raw. He was very close to me. I raised him from a puppy. He would have been 10 in June, so he was getting up there. He was a thoroughbred black and white Siberian Husky. I thought about putting a picture of him up here, but quite frankly, that would have required me to dig through my photos and stuff, and that's not really something that I feel ready to do at the moment. As I said, I'm doing okay if I can just kind of keep moving, but yeah, sitting and dwelling has not proved very healthy on that front. So unfortunately, I don't think I will be doing that. Otherwise, I thought about it just so you guys would have been able to see. He was a beautiful animal, though. He was a picturesque husky. Little on the heavy side as he got older, but that was because he started having medical stuff. And a lot of you are probably already aware of some of his conditions because I had posted videos about having to take breaks and things when he had ruptured his ACL, and we were having to kind of take care of him, or he'd have to have a biopsy or for this for a certain, you know, he was fighting a lot of infection type stuff. He kept getting these recurring infection things that he'd go on antibiotics, it would get rid of him, a couple weeks later he'd get it back again, and it became kind of a chronic thing that he couldn't really kick. And ultimately I think that's really what did it. He was in a lot of pain, and he was uncomfortable, and he was, it was affecting his mood and his attitude and stuff. He was just, you could just tell he was not doing well. He was not feeling good. And so when I told his symptoms to the vet and addressed what was going on and things, he confirmed to me that it was time to let him go. So, yeah, again, just kind of wanted to let everybody know. I apologize if you're, would like more information. It's just the more I go into it, the harder it gets. So I'm trying to kind of keep it concise so that I'm letting everybody know and everybody knows what's going on, but I don't fall back into, having a breakdown or something. But so yeah, we were working on the project. It was going well. We got about halfway done with the project. We hit kind of a midpoint in the project. We were moving into a next phase. And then my dog got sick and, got to a point where we had to deal with his illness. Not that he wasn't already, but he was really getting bad. And so then we kind of had to deal with that. I took some time off personally for that. I wasn't even helping my brother at that point. I just took a couple days to kind of get squared away. And then I started working back with him again. And then shortly after that, he took an injury. And so we haven't been working on the project. And then I myself got sick. So it's been a little bit of a roller coaster up and down. A lot has been going on in the background. So I wanted to kind of just catch everybody up to speed so that you guys weren't like wondering as far as, man, this is taking a long time. What's going on? It hasn't just been the project. There's been some other things that have slowed that part down as well as just impacted my time. With that said, though, that kind of is the gist. That's the ballpark of what's been going on in the background and why things have been taking so long. It admittedly longer than I expected. I had planned on a month to 2, and it's been 2, and I still am not entirely sure when we'll be back. I hope I'll be able to come back in a more steady capacity in like a month or so. I'm hoping, but a lot depends on how long the next part of the project takes and how much we can do, and how much my brother can do with his injury and how long that'll take before he can get going. I thought about coming back until he was better, but then he's doing better already, and so he's got to kind of baby it, but he's doing okay functionally wise, and so it's kind of one of those that I figured I'd get 2 weeks in and have put out 3 episodes or something and then have to take another break or something, so I opted to try and do the kind of this, letting you guys know where we're at, but I don't think it would be the best of ideas to come back just yet because I feel like I'm probably going to have to stay off of the consistency for a while, but when I haven't been feeling sick and all that kind of stuff, and I haven't been working with him in my off time, I have still been trying to take the advantage of being off and not having to focus on recording to look at some of my projects, some of my lists of to-do things, and so on and so forth. So I want to take a little bit of time here and go over some of my future plans for when I come back to a more steady capacity and return to YouTube as a focus, and get kind of announce a couple of things, but also get some feedback from you guys. Because right now, when I'm not trying to make videos, is the perfect time for me to take a long, hard look in the mirror and go, do I want to change anything when I come back? Do I want to take this opportunity to come back with a different, a different kind of take on things? One of them being, when I come back, I'm currently working on rebranding the channel visually. Not that really it'll be that much different in terms of what I tend to focus on and things. It's not like I'm not doing any space engineers anymore. I'm just turning into a Minecraft channel. No, I'm not doing stuff like that. But short version, there's a lot of reasons. I tend to change my art every few years or so anyway, just because I get bored and I've learned new 3D modeling or graphic art techniques that I want to play around with, or I get a new idea. But I also have run into a couple of issues with the licensing for the font that I use for my logo, and rather than hassle with it, I've just decided to change the font up and stuff, which then led me to, well, if I'm changing this, do I change that? Well, if I change that, do I change, and it's kind of just dominoed into what don't you change. And the K logo that I had, it was, for those of you that aren't familiar, for those of you that have been with me since the start and know where the K came from, kudos to you, hats off to you, you guys are awesome, and you earned a ton of cool points. If I ever get to actually tallying cool points, you've got a lot of them. But for those of you that don't know, the K actually came from when I started with Minecraft, and I created a pixel art knight kind of shape. And then later when I upgraded to more of like a Photoshop silvery metal look, I kind of doctored the shape and created a different texture and look to it, but the overall silhouette was kind of the same, and it's stuck ever since, and I've always kept that like pixelated kind of K. But when like I said, when I started looking at changing fonts and things, it was like, well, maybe it's time to move away. I don't really do a lot of Minecraft anymore. I mean, I do personally, but I don't really on the channel as much. Go ahead and let me know if you'd rather see a little bit more. So I was like, maybe it's time to do some updated things. I've also looked into, I've purchased a couple of 3D models in the idea of eventually converting Dog Squad over into a 3D animated series rather than a machinima. And so I kind of mashed some of these two things together and came up with a newer, more updated logo that doesn't involve the pixelated K. It involves a more standard silhouetted character, a new font, all that kind of stuff. So currently, I'll give you a little bit of a teaser because I have a whole new intro and all this other stuff that I'm working on in the background that I'm almost done with. I'm not quite done there yet. I'm not ready to show it until it's finished. But tentatively, I'll put it right about now. This is what my current main logo thing would be. So like what you'll see in the banners of the channel and the thumbnails of the Twitter profiles and all that kind of stuff. This is kind of the logo that I'm thinking I'm going to go with when I come back. I probably won't do it until I'm ready to come back because it'll be kind of a resurface, a rebranding, you know, a return to form. But I'm tinkering with it. I'm adding to it and changing and kind of building other things like a new intro and things, new transitions based on this kind of art style type of thing is what I'm going with. So let me know what you guys think about that, if you're excited about that or not, because quite frankly, I would offer that, well, if you guys have any ideas, let me know, but I'm so far into it at this point that it's probably going to stay that way for a while. It's just, I've built a lot of stuff around that. I'm even redesigning my web page design. I haven't actually rebuilt my website yet, but thankfully I hadn't gotten to that point yet, so I'm taking my designs before I do and redoing them, retooling them to fit this new logo thing. So everything's kind of going to this, and I've got a lot of things enough in the works that it'll probably go there. And I'm just kind of literally fingers crossed right now that everybody will like it, because if not, I'm kind of up a creek, because this is the best I got so far. But yeah, I'm working on new logos new intros as well and stuff. That will be a little bit shorter. I did take the feedback criticisms from my Matrix intro of being like 30 seconds or something was too long for every video. So I think my current intro that I'm redoing that's going to be tailored towards this art style is I think clocking in about 10 seconds. So it should be a little bit quicker and a little more to the point, but hopefully it'll be just as impressive, because I put a lot of time and effort into the 3D modeling and artwork side of it and stuff that learned a lot through the whole process, but I think it's coming out really nice. I'm really getting happy with the way it's starting to come together, but yeah, I'm planning on coming back with new channel art, and that will kind of cascade. It's going to go to the Twitter and Facebook and Steam and all the groups and whatnot. Just kind of do a full rebranding. So I'm redoing my artwork, and I'll be doing new intros and everything to fit that. I'll also be doing new thumbnail artwork for my videos, probably a new transition. I currently have that like parodied Transformer 80s transition one. I may keep the sound or something. I'm not sure yet. I've been rolling around ideas. But I have a couple ideas for new transitions to fit the new theme as well. Even if it's just the same thing, but just with the newer art style. So let me know what you think about all that. I'm going to be also working on my webpage while I'm off, and hopefully when I come back, my new website will be ready to go up. Hopefully. That one's a little shaky, I'm not sure, because there's still a lot of work to do on that, but I'm hoping that I'll have time, and when I come back, because my current website is just terrible. It's the same one I had when I started my channel, and it was a free Weebly template before I knew how to do any kind of web development type stuff, and I look at it now and I just like, you know, it's gross. It's not even responsive. It doesn't even adapt to your phone and stuff. It's terrible. So much so that I actively deter people from going to my webpage. They're like, "What's your website?" I'm like, "Don't go there. Go to my YouTube channel. It's better." So you know, with the idea, a lot of you are aware I'm working on my book, and that's closing up pretty nicely. I'm about halfway through my final edit pass, and then I have a couple of people lined up that I'm going to have be a second pair of eyes and be kind of a pseudo editor for me and see if they can catch stuff that I don't. And then when I get their notes back, I'll kind of apply what they told me and see what I need to change there. But that should be a lot faster than doing it myself, because I'm currently like reading through the whole thing. Theirs will just be isolated, whatever notes they give me. So when that's done, the book will be pretty much ready to go. It'll be me, you know, setting up the back end side of getting it set up on Amazon and coming up with descriptions and keywords and blah, blah, blah. But by that point, the book should be done. So I'm close. I don't have much left to do on the book side, so that'll be nice. Again, all of this is hopefully going to come to a head when I come back. I'm hoping to get a lot of this stuff done while I'm off and while I'm on hiatus, in between working with my brother and stuff, and so that then when I come back, I can kind of make up for all the time I've been gone and kind of hit you guys with a ton of stuff. Like new artwork, new web page, new book coming out. I am working on a Discord channel. I've set it up for the most part, and I'm working with Bassplay KG because he's more familiar with some of the ins and outs of Discord. I'm not. I'm a Discord noob. The only thing I use it for is to talk with Bassplay and Adrian Wannafly when we're hanging out and stuff. That's pretty much all I use it for. So I'm getting used to figuring out what I can do with it and what I can't. I'm trying to plug in stuff like the official news channels from like space engineers and stuff, so when they make an update, it's on my servers and stuff, so you guys will have a one-stop shop for some of that. So I'm playing around with that kind of stuff, and I'm going to have him help me look it over and see what edges need to be polished. But again, hopefully when I come back, I'll have a Discord channel ready to go, which will feature the Patreon-only rooms, as I mentioned before on my Patreon. I do apologize to all my patrons who have not really had access to that, even though it was part of the benefits. But yeah, whenever I launch the Discord server, it will have built-in rooms for patrons, and then I will have to follow up with patrons who are at the proper levels and give them permissions to those rooms, and then they'll be able to access those rooms exclusively, which will be a nice little benefit, I think. I hope. I hope that'll be enticing to some of you. The other thing that I'm looking at doing is I'm looking into it, and let me know if there's interest there, because if there's interest there, I definitely will be more gung-ho about it. But I've recently been made aware that YouTube is also, I guess, partnered now with places like Teespring and stuff for merchandise. And so with the idea of a rebranding and new logo, I'm tempted and looking into if I have the potential to do stuff like t-shirts with my logo on them or something, if you guys want to support me in that manner. If you'd be interested in something like that, let me know if that's something you'd actually do. If you're like, not really, that's fine too. You can let me know that too, and I can defer and look elsewhere towards my efforts. But if there's an interest there, then I definitely want to pursue it, so that give you guys more chances to be part of the community, so to speak. So yeah, there's a lot in the pipeline. There's a lot in the works. This is what happens when I sit still and I'm not recording. I think about what else I can do and get done. So big plans for when I come back. So hopefully that'll tide you over until I come back, is knowing that there will be some big changes when I come back, and we'll try and make up for the absence there by, you know, coming out of the gate swinging with all new stuff. The other thing I was going to bring up is regarding content, meaning video content. Again, sitting still, I'm checking my stuff. I haven't been replying to comments as much. I've been trying to reply if something seemed urgent, particularly with stuff like the programming 101 series where people have questions, I try and answer those so they're not left hanging. But if it's just, you know, great episode or thanks or something, I'm reading them all, I'm paying attention to them all, but I have not been very diligent with replying. So if you were concerned about that, I've seen your comments, I've looked at all of them. I just may not have gotten around to replying to them right away, or they were something that I was like, oh, cool, but I didn't, you know, feel the need that I had to take the time. So, but I do read all my stuff if I can help it, unless something really I'm not always like right when you do it, but within 48 hours or so, I usually at least check my page once or twice, to where if I see I have messages or comments, I try and check them. So if you have feedback and stuff, do leave comments on this video and stuff, because I will see it. Even if I don't directly respond to it, I will take note of your suggestions or whatnot. There will probably be a poll in this video as well. If you haven't seen it or something, or you missed it, then definitely check the cards tab, because I will probably put a poll in here, because I've been looking at the analytics of my channel and stuff, particularly surrounding the Genesis Alpha 1 guides video that I did. And I was very surprised at how well that did. I know there was a lot of hype when the game launched, so, you know, guides like beginner's guides do very well when a game launches because everyone's looking for information. But I was very surprised to see that it went way far above my last inspiration episode, which my Space Engineers Inspiration series is probably my bread and butter series. Like, that's, if anything is going to do well on my channel, it's that one. So when it did so much better within a smaller time frame, I was very surprised. And it did get me kind of thinking. And so I do want to open a very blunt question to all of my viewers, subscribers, etc., and so on. I'm just going to be straight up about it. Is I'm debating on if I should shift some of my content into less weekly, every week, every episode, every day, that kind of scheduled content that's more dynamic, and move towards more polished, high content, high quality content type stuff, like guides or game reviews, game guides, tips and tricks, stuff like the programming series, for example. I really want to do a remake of that, because most of the information is outdated at this point. Space Engineers has just recently done a big update that affected scripting and stuff as well. So if it wasn't already, it probably is now very, very outdated information. And yet I'm still getting comments on it. People are still watching the videos and they're still looking for information. But I did the Programming 101 series incorrectly as a let's code together rather than a tutorial, because quite frankly, I really wasn't that confident in my ability to teach it. But I'm realizing now it would have been much better if I had just taken the time to polish it up and do it like a tutorial. So Programming 102 is going to be in the works. I don't have a time frame on it. Again, hopefully I might be able to have it together, or at least started by the time I come back. Hopefully, but there's a lot on the plate, so I don't know if it'll get attended to. But I do intend to make a revised 102 series that's more high-polished, scripted. I know what I'm doing. I'm not coding as I go. Like, I know the code works, and I'm just explaining how it works, and kind of walking everybody through it and making it a far more polished tutorial style. So if that's something you'd be interested in, do let me know, because I really would appreciate the feedback on whether or not people are interested in something like that. But other things as well, stuff like the Inspiration series is not really a Let's Play. It's more of a polished, you know, a showcase type thing. It's not just me playing the game. Even the Let's builds are a little bit more on that, you know, kind of stylized, you have a goal in mind kind of attitude. It's not just free play kind of thing. And so I've been looking at, I do a lot of Let's Plays from a lot of different games, and I'm just kind of looking at it going, I'm wondering if it's time to try and shift into more scripted and controlled content over just the let's see what we're going to do this week kind of thing. And even if that means affecting the Let's Plays in a more guided, polished manner, like, if I have a project that I'm working on, maybe not release the episode until that project's done, and do more time-lapse cut clips and stuff, and less just me talking while I'm waiting for something to process or build, you know, that type of stuff. But I'm really looking towards, the Genesis Alpha 1 video really made me look at it and go, maybe doing guides or tips or, helpful things, informational type content would be more beneficial. So my question is, A, would you like that? Which is what the poll is going to be. The poll at the end of this video is going to, or right now, let's put it now. The poll is going to be for, would you prefer more Let's Play, seat of your pants, improv type content, or would you prefer everything to be a lot more polished and take more time and be less scheduled release, but more high quality? Because I must admit, I'm beginning to lean towards the latter, and I'm curious if my audience and subscribers and all of you guys would be on board with that, or if that would be something that it would deter you. But the other question is, if you're on board with that, are there other ideas that I did not mention for things that you would like to see me do? For example, if there's certain guides or things, what kind of guides? What are you looking for what things are you looking for information that you're not finding elsewhere? Things like that. I've also been very interested for a very long time in doing stuff like game reviews. I've mentioned it before in passing, but I always kind of like, I don't think anybody wants to hear my opinions on it. But I have talked about things here and there because of coming from a game design background and having schooling in programming and stuff, that there are times where I know what the developers were doing in a game and I critique it while I'm playing it sometimes in my Let's Plays. And so I know some of you have heard that I do have opinions and things, and I do have perspectives on some of those things that you might not get other places. So let me know if that's something you'd be interested in as well, if you'd be curious about my take on different games, and if so, what are suggestions you might want to see reviewed first? Things like that. As I said, I just felt like this was the perfect time to bring up some of those topics because it really gives me time to let it sit. I can let you guys think about it. You can comment. I can wait a month and get a bunch of messages. I can get comments, that kind of thing. Do feel free to do so. Don't hold back. If you have a thought or a comment or an opinion, let me know. I mean, I would appreciate it if you were respectful about it and not just no one cares what you think. You know, that would be hurtful. But you know, but if that's true for you, I don't mind hearing about it. But I would appreciate a little bit of tact, just a smidge. I mean, I know it's the internet; it's asking a lot, but I'd appreciate it. No, and in all honesty, you guys are normally really awesome about that. I only get a few random comments here and there from people that usually aren't even subscribers to me that have a negative attitude or something. But for the most part, you guys are awesome. So I'm mostly joking, but no, I'm definitely, don't hold back your opinions. I definitely want to hear from all of you on all of those topics. I think that's going to do it. I was going to make this a little bit shorter, but there was a lot of ground to cover, and I'd been radio silent for a while, so there was a lot I wanted to get off my chest and a lot I wanted to ask. But as I said before, I just thought it would be the perfect time to let you guys know what was going on, why things have been so kind of quiet lately, and why things have taken a little bit longer, where there's been quite a few unexpected turns of events, and things of that nature. So, but yeah, I'm going to leave you with those questions, and I hope to hear back from all of you, and I hope to get your insight on those potential ways that we could take the channel and stuff, and see what you guys think. One thing I did want to mention, again, not to take it back to you know, to get them, you know, caught up in emotions or anything like that, but I did want to say, because I don't think I did, I do very much appreciate everybody who was very supportive of, even when I said I was just taking a break for a while, everybody was fine with that, and, you know, very, you know, we'll be here when you get back kind of thing. And then when I posted about my dog, I was very moved, even though it was a few small group and it wasn't everybody on my channel or anything, just the people that responded with a lot of, you know, take your time, we'll be here, you know, that kind of thing. It was very, very motivational and very supportive, and I really appreciate that. It means a lot. It's sometimes nice to see that even though I don't know a lot of you on a personal level, I've never met most of you, any of you that I can think of, you know, that, you know, somebody from across the world, across the internet can still be supportive of somebody. So it was very much appreciated. Again, I didn't respond to a lot of your comments because it was hard to deal with and stuff, but I did read them all, and I did appreciate every one of them, and I thank you a lot for that. So with that, as I said, do leave your comments in the feedback. This is what happens when you're sick and out of practice with recording. You get tongue-tied. I mean, as if I didn't get tongue-tied anyway. This is what happens when your video goes further than 15 minutes and you start talking for 30 minutes. You have more opportunity to screw it up. I was doing good, though. I was doing really good. I was proud of myself. But yeah, leave your feedback in the comments and or message. You can always directly message me as well, or you can tweet, Facebook, that kind of thing if you'd like to, if that's your preferred method, but I'm bad about checking that kind of stuff. I need like an assistant person to check that, because I even forget I have the account sometimes. It's like, oh yeah, I need to post that on there. So if you're wanting to just leave me feedback, that's great. If you're wanting a response, I would not go with Facebook or Twitter. I barely ever respond to that kind of stuff. I would definitely leave it in the comments on this video or in the community tab, or message me directly on here. But YouTube is definitely my main source of information when it comes to getting you guys' feedback. So if you don't have any real thoughts, you can feel free to just leave it on the poll. If you want to clarify your thoughts on the poll, then leave your feedback. Also, one last thing, just because I want to throw it out there. I do not have a time frame on it. My book and all these other rebranding ideas is the priority at the moment, because I really want to get all that done before I come back, and I don't know when that is, so I don't know how much time I have. But in the back burner, I have made some progress on Dog Squad. I know some of you probably don't even know what that is at this point because it's been so long. Some of you may be excited, and some of you may go, oh yeah. I'm hoping it's the middle, to be honest, but let's be real, there's probably a lot of you that don't even know what that series is at this point. But I did make some progress. I got very excited with the Space Engineers releasing their replay tool. I've been asking them to do that. I asked them once, actually, but in my head I've been asking them to do that frequently. I didn't want to annoy them with spam emails, but I thought about it. So they finally did it. It did change my plans. Originally, part of what's taken Dog Squad so long is I had intended to actually convert it over into a 3D animated series, which involved 3D modeling and animation and other things, and getting it. I finally got an art style where I was going to head with it, and I was excited about it. And then they released the replay editor tool. So in the interest of time, Season 2 will most likely remain a machinima. It was going to be a 3D animated series, which was the majority of why it was taking so long to get it worked out and get it produced. But at this point with that, I can't pass that up. It's just I can get it done so much faster with the replay tool, and it'll still look leaps and bounds over Season 1 because I can still do so much more with that tool. There is still a lot of work to do on it. There's still ships that need to be built, and Caden Red Pearl and I have not finished all of our dialogue recording. So I won't sugarcoat it and say that it's coming out tomorrow or anything like that. It would be fun to announce that, but not there. But it will be significantly sooner than I originally expected because we're no longer focused on 3D at the moment. That may be a Season 3 or beyond kind of thing, but for 2, we're going to go back to a machinima for now. But it is in the works, and potentially I may have something that I might be able to show on that in the coming month or so, give or take. I have to work out a couple of things with Baseplay KG and see if we can get a couple more things in the works. But it's possible you may see some kind of an announcement type thing about Dog Squad in the coming month or so. Again, not a release date though. It's not like the season's ready to come out yet. I'm optimistic that it will be much faster than before, but I still don't have a time frame for you guys. So if you're excited about that, I hope you'll be excited that at least it's not dead. It is in the works. It is in the background. Unfortunately, I am one person, and the rest of the crew are separate people who have schedules and things, and none of this is their full-time job or anything. So it does take significantly longer to get something like this done, especially when I up the quality of Season 2 significantly. I scripted everything. I've made 3 times the episodes, blah, blah, blah. So there's a lot more work that needed to be done. And I just wanted to kind of announce that in a way so that you guys were aware of why it was taking so long, because 3-4 years is a long time to wait for any kind of real update on a series. But I'm still very passionate about it. I still enjoy making it immensely. And as long as you guys are open to it and want to see more of it, I will continue to make more of it. But how long it takes me is up for grabs. So, with that, we're going to wrap things up here. This got significantly longer than I expected, but as you can tell, there was quite a bit of information to go over and questions to pose to all of you, which I hope to receive a good amount of feedback from, because I'd really like to know where you guys stand on a lot of this stuff. But let me know what you guys think in any way you'd like. particularly the polls and the comments would be best for me. And in the meantime, like I said, I'm not quite ready to come back yet. Hopefully in the next month or two, we'll be squared away, but I don't want to promise anything, get you guys' hopes up, but I will be announcing more when I know more. So I appreciate you guys sticking with me, and I hope that you'll hang in there for a little while longer while we work on some stuff from behind the scenes, and hopefully I'll make up for it when I come back, that we'll have a lot more to cover, and it'll be worth it. So in the meantime, I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, leave a like and give me your feedback, and I will see you guys later. Peace.